I'm ready.
Oh,
It'll be funny.
and we're live. And cat got your tongue. Hello,
not
everyone.
not not since not since last night. Go ahead.
Oh, how you do make me laugh. Welcome to It's
Hey,
Sybil. I
yeah.
am Sybil Wilkes, and two of the three boys are here. Hello, Damon. You're not on the seas of Chicagoland today, or the river.
Nah, we had rain and tornado warnings and all
Oh,
type of
Oh,
craziness.
I heard it was really
Yeah, so
crazy this morning.
yeah, and it was a little bit crazy this evening around this afternoon. So it's passed by. Tomorrow should be 70ish and sunny. Unfortunately, the weather was bad Sunday because I was gonna usher Cameron and his date around on the boat
Oh,
Sunday, but it rained. So we're trying to reschedule before the season ends.
the best laid plans.
mhm.
Med, how are you?
Doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Good. Is it still hotter than hot there?
No, the sun turned down a little bit. It's not
Oh,
as
okay.
bad as it's been. Like it's the same. Like I'm telling you, Sybil, it's the same temperature, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's not as hot. It's a weird thing. 82 that feels like 107. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? Like like I said, like the wind chill factor in the winter. I don't know what you want to call it in the summer, but it's something else.
The heat index, I think is what
The
they
heat
call it.
index is what we can call it. It is what it is. But it was hot as hell, and it was only 82 degrees, and it just confused me. It can
It,
very
it,
much confused me.
it confused all of us on our Sunday meeting. He was just talking about Damon out. It was only 82, but it feels like 107.
It was it hurt.
Tru- Trust me, I would take 82 or 107 right now for what we're
Yeah,
facing next.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I understand too. And
And
we
for
are
some
having,
reason, my yard, I got the leafiest trees because I already have the leaves all over my tree, over
oh,
my lawn.
wow.
Man,
Yeah,
What does
my
that
neighbors don't
mean?
have it as bad. I don't know what type of trees these are. I'm gonna have to find out. They
look,
need to go.
I learned a long time. I learned when we moved from Chicago down to Atlanta that I now, as an adult, do not want trees in my yard. I don't want trees around my house.
Oh,
For
wow.
the squirrel highway is
Yeah.
a thing.
No, I
The
had that in my
leaves,
last house. Yeah.
nope, 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 nope. Get rid of
Yeah, I
all
have
them
that
trees.
too.
I don't want no trees by my
But you know
house.
what? Living in Texas, I would want trees. I got the squirrel thing. I guess it'll just always stay with me. I hate squirrels
Hmm.
more than life itself. But the trees providing the shade that's so necessary here.
I
That's
under,
Yeah.
I understand. Them squirrels though are worse than
oh my
the
god.
heat
Oh,
for me.
trust. I,
Oh
I've
my
had
god.
I've had squirrels in my attic. I've had
Yep.
a pregnant possum in my
Yep.
attic, and they all got by
Yeesh.
shimmying up the
The
tree
tree.
and into my attic.
Your roof is just an
Yeah.
extension of the tree to them.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
squirrels, I don't know why squirrels get a pass because if they had a fuzzy tail, we would probably shoot at them because then they would look like rats.
Yep.
If I had a weapon, oh yeah. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, when I see them scurrying across the street, I go faster and I swerve in their direction. I hate
We,
squirrels
we
that
trying to take them out.
much.
Well, I won't.
Take
I
them
won't
out.
cut down trees, and I won't kill squirrels. My wife called me Doctor Doolittle anyway, so
Okay,
it is what it
doctor.
is.
All right. That is,
Woodpeckers.
I'm gonna leave that to you because if I had my way, there would be no squirrels. If this world were
Mm-mm.
mine, I don't know what use they provide.
Uh, chop.
You know, like
Chewing down your house.
like spiders. You know, they get rid of the insects. They eat the insects and stuff like that. Okay, whatever. But squirrels have
Just
no
destruction. Just
redeeming
destruction.
quality.
And it's slow
I mean,
destruction.
Yeah.
Years and
but
years of slow destruction.
Yep.
you can't hate on an animal that stores nuts.
Then I would be hating on all men. So Cameron is not going to join us today.
Like
He
calling
said
out
he
you
can't.
right there. Good job,
He's,
you
he,
two.
he,
Good
he,
job, you two. Right there.
he
That's
just
right.
he said, "Here, Sybil,"
Yeah, here you go. Sybil. Take
and I
that.
and I did a
Windmill.
WNBA move,
Yeah,
and
yeah, you
Yeah,
windmill that bad
Stockton
boy
to
right in there.
Malone, baby. Stockton to Malone.
Cameron is dealing with a flooding situation at his workplace, so he won't be able to join us today.
Speaking of the
I-
rain that you're dealing with up there,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's either at
Yeah.
his house or at the workplace. So
I'd
That's
rather
what
be
I
at
was
the
gonna say.
workplace.
At least it's at the job. You can leave that.
right, you
Yep.
leave that behind. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Today, speaking of weather, it started to cool down here in North Texas. It's only going to be in the 80s this week and next week. So I know I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It is a little warmer than 87, Ned. I will admit to that. But those Hyundais, don't miss them at all. Not
Heat
at all.
index.
Not at
The
all.
sun is hotter than it was when we were kids. Period.
Those was, But weren't those some hot days? And we
We had hot
survived.
days,
I
but
mean,
we could be out there all day. This heat, this new sun, no.
the
No.
new sun.
This new sun, I saw kids withering away one day. Just in like, I watched my son play soccer this weekend. I'm like, they feeling it. They are feeling it. Look at that. When I was 9 years old, this would be nothing. The sun is different. The sun is different.
I remember just those days. And I used to get heat headaches. Did you ever get those as a kid?
No.
Oh yeah, we used to get those because that's when your parents would send you out. When the sun came up first thing in the morning and say, "Don't come back until I call you."
And we
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
If you come in the house, you stay in the house.
Right.
And that
Yep.
was a real
Right.
threat.
That was the only threat we needed to hear.
No,
Parents had no clue where we were. No, the parents had no clue how far we were riding our bikes.
Oh my
We were
gosh.
gone.
Yes.
I would
You're-
never let my child go.
And then when you got busted, you're like, well, what's over here? Well, that's so and so's house, and then right next door to
Just
them is a
gone.
store, and they got
Just
great
gone.
candy at that store. You're
Woof.
like, the hell you know that? Okay, all
Gone,
right.
man.
I don't know. So let's talk about what's going on in our little newsletter. The What You Need to Know newsletter is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African American community for the stories and with the people that are providing the stories. And this is Cameron Day as our political contributor. 6 weeks from today, mark it down, look at your calendar. 6 weeks from today, Election Day. If you haven't already voted or will early vote wherever you are, the dates are starting to come, especially as we move into October, early voting days. Cameron wrote about Election Day as Judgment Day.
Yep.
And Judgment Day for Donald Trump. And apparently, Donald Trump is telling people that, or he was asked the question, if you were to lose this election, will you run again in 2028? And he pretty much said he thinks he's done.
It's so funny about that because if I was him, I would just leave it out there. I'm the boogeyman at this point. I'm just gonna leave it out there that I'm going to torment you for the next 4 years, and I'm gonna do it again because I don't have to debate nobody because they're just gonna put me in. I am here to be your boogeyman until I die. I would just leave that out there for people to chew on for a little bit.
And the boogeyman for people within his own party, like Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell will never have a decent day of living anyway, because of some of the deadly and dire things he's done. With the specter of Donald Trump and the presidency over his shoulder.
The Republican Party's in shambles. They have not been able to move. They can't move forward until he's done. And it's like it's honestly both parties are kind of stuck in a rut. In my opinion, when it just comes to candidates and things of that nature and looking forward. So, I can't wait for this all to be kind of done, move forward, and Kamala get up in there and let's get this. I feel like a big reset in politics is coming.
Well, I feel the reset came as a result of Vice President Harris taking over because I for whatever it's worth, it's not throw the election open to all the people, Damon. Like the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was talking about. Let's throw it open and and vote on it. And take it to the convention. But it is a breath of fresh air, and it's a new generation, I believe.
Absolutely. And if I'm Donald Trump, I'm not telling people I'm running again if they're gonna keep shooting at me. If I decide to run in 2028, I'm gonna tell her on in 2027.59. I'm not about to
Right.
be out there telling
Okay.
people, well, you're not gonna get rid of me yet because I'm coming back if I lose. Nope.
Mm-mm.
I'll be back. No, no, no.
That's true. That's true. Stop
And
shooting at me.
and he'll be a single man. He will, not have a lot of these things
Hey,
going
look,
on.
He could be a
I thought he was gonna be
parolee.
I thought he was gonna be a single man this time around. I'm quite
Well,
shocked
pretty
that
much is.
they,
He pretty much
that
is.
they dust off Melania every once in a while. It's pretty good. Made her AI at this point.
Probably. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. One of the other things that I talked about in the newsletter, I did the story about the vice president going to Georgia and putting a spotlight on the draconian abortion laws or the abortion bans, I should say, in the state of Georgia, and which have led to delayed emergency care for two Black women in particular. Their names were Amber Thurman and Candy Miller. People may have seen their story on news reports, and especially if you live in Georgia, Med, you may have seen the story before a lot of people around the country did.
Amber Thurman,
But
yeah, definitely.
but this ProPublica investigation put a spotlight on them and the women who lost their lives as a result of uh, not receiving the care when they were in the process of through the use of abortion pills, going through the process.
I
And
Go
it
ahead.
was it was just so devastating. And the vice president was on with Oprah Winfrey on Thursday night and
Mhm.
said, I'm going and talk to the people and remind them of what is possible under these laws that the states are doing. And I'm going to, as soon as I become president, I'm going to work with the Congress to get rid of this and to bring back Roe versus Wade, or at least what Roe versus Wade allowed us to have.
I have a very hard time with these doctors saying we don't know if I was like, you run a test.
Right.
You can see that this person probably could die. At that point, do what you have to do to save the life. I don't understand this whole we don't know, we don't want to get sued.
We can't go to prison for
We don't
this.
want to go to jail, so we're just gonna let him die and let everything else sort itself out. I just don't think it's if you have the paperwork that's saying they're about to die,
Right.
they're very sick. We need to fix this. The baby already dead inside them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to get it up out of there. Be a doctor. Be a hospital. Take care of the patient.
Yeah.
This whole we don't want to go to jail thing, it's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Plus, you took an oath, the Hippocratic oath. So
Right.
I think that's to supersede the local
Anything.
ordinance.
Right.
Come on, man.
That's right.
I just don't believe is that something else is I honestly believe I don't know what it is. Something else is behind that because this whole we're worried about going to jail thing is a dumb. I don't believe that. You're not going to jail for trying to save somebody's life. I just don't think until I see that happen.
And if you do, go to court and have a jury of your peers find you not guilty, because that is ridiculous.
No
They're
one's
not
putting
gonna-
you in jail for saving a life. Nobody.
Were the two women Black?
Yes.
Yes.
Two Black women, 28-year-old Amber Thurman, according to ProPublica, she suffered from a grave infection that her suburban Atlanta hospital was well equipped to treat. She'd taken abortion pills and encountered a rare complication. She had not expelled all of the tissue from her body. She showed up at the Piedmont Henry Hospital in need of a routine procedure to clear all of this, known as a D&C, or dilation and curettage. And that summer, just before then, the state made performing that procedure a felony with few exceptions. Any doctor who violated the new Georgia law could be prosecuted and face up to a decade in prison.
Not happening. Besides, here's another thing, Sybil. Go ahead and sue that doctor or try to put that doctor in jail. You want to see Roe versus Wade come back as swiftly as possible?
Right.
Do that. It'll be a wrap. Because like the minute you try to do that and send a doctor to jail for trying to save a life because of the law will be gone. Will be gone.
If,
so
if the patient is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white person,
Oh,
it'll go a little faster.
Of course.
For sure. for sure. And speaking of which, the second Black woman was a 41-year-old woman by the name of Candy Miller. She had the triple threat. She suffered from lupus, diabetes, and hypertension and didn't want to wait until the situation became dire. So she avoided doctors, navigated an abortion on her own, a path that many health experts feared would increase the risk when women in America lost the constitutional right to obtain legal, medically supervised abortions. And her family watched her die. They watched her lay in her bed and die. And because she was, it was a two-sided threat there, because she was told because of her medical conditions she should not have any more children. It would kill her. So she took matters into her own hand because of the abortion law and was going to take the abortion pill. She took it, and that killed her.
It's like I said,
Because she was afraid of going to the hospital and then not being able to take care of her. And two Black women, 28, 41, there, that range there. And as you say, I agree with you. If they had been two, blue-eyed blonde women with
they've
little
been taken care of,
ponytails, they would have been taken care of. Yeah.
because Black women have been treated terribly when it comes to hospital visits, even before all this. So of course, even now, it feels like they have an excuse not to really treat them like garbage. So like I said, November 5th, do what you got to do.
You know what you got to do. You know what you got to
Yeah,
do.
because have we found any stories where white women have had the same or similar circumstances and perished?
Well,
No.
not perish so much as the white women have taken the bull by the horns, and they have gone and found a place where they could have the procedures done. Because in Texas is a good example of that. These women, a lot of them appeared at the Democratic National Convention because they were forced to flee the state and to get help. Because
Or
Texas,
they were treated and they didn't have the same result.
well, yeah, but they're not telling us that part. But as you
That's
mentioned,
what I mean. That's why
yeah,
we don't have examples. That's
yeah,
what I'm
Right.
thinking.
yeah. But they were able to go somewhere else
Because
and have this
like
done.
you said, the problem was with the two women in Georgia, they went somewhere else. The problem was after they came back to Georgia, they
Yeah.
had the complications from that procedure they had in another state. And then when they
Instead
tried to
of
get
going and staying and having it done,
until it's all taken
they
care
got
of, they came
killed
back home.
and took care of it themselves. Another article that we had in the newsletter is about whooping cough. Now, I got into this with Griff this morning on the Get Up Mornings with Erica Cameron. I was like, who talks about whooping cough? We don't talk about it, but it still exists. I don't know if you remember when you were a kid getting the inoculations for whooping cough and what have you, but as we age, it it gets gets the dosage gets lower and lower in our bodies, and it doesn't, and soon very many of us reach a stage where we're found to be diagnosed with pertussis. That's the official name for whooping cough.
Pertussis?
Pertussis, yes.
Got it.
The highest number of whooping cough infections since 2014 this year, with no indication of slowing down, according to the CDC. This year's spike in cases marks a return to pre-pandemic levels of this infection. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, whooping cough cases were trending upward in the U.S. And the vaccines have done a yeoman's job for us for many decades, but they're not doing the job as well as they used to. According to the FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee. They are discussing whether it might be time to allow pharmaceutical companies to purposely give people whooping cough as a primary test of their vaccines. This type of study called a human challenge trial. Now, the number of cases we talked about, but do you know some of the symptoms? It's not just the cough, but the symptoms that look like a regular cold: a runny nose, sneezing, a low-grade fever, and a tickly cough. And the
Sounds like a
hypochondriac that I
cold.
am, I'm feeling all of these as I was reading this. Um, a week or two later, the infection moves into a new stage, leading to a violent full body cough, thus the name whooping. Coughing fits can be so severe They can cause patients to vomit or break ribs, and they're often accompanied by a whooping sound as a person tries to catch their breath.
Mm.
That
And it's funny because you said the highest amount of cases since. I thought you were gonna say like since 1978, but you
No,
said 2014. Wow.
yeah, yeah. Before the pandemic, and I guess COVID kind of knocked that out for a lot of people. And if they did have whooping cough and COVID, maybe they got rid of both of them. But it's kind of. But take a look at this article because it's just one of those things that we don't talk about enough as we are moving through
I'm about to
today's
say.
show.
You're looking for your
Yeah, I'm looking for my
inoculation.
vaccine mark.
It's probably worn
Yep.
off by now.
No, that's
Right.
right there. Yeah, I still
No,
Yeah.
got
man.
it.
I think
Yes,
hey,
sir.
those inoculations back in the day, they
Oh
they
man, they left a hefty little scar with
they
you,
left
didn't
you a
they?
Still
scar.
there.
That's a permanent thing right there.
Yeah, for
Stays in
sure.
the body.
Moving to
That's
the
why
question.
you can't lie. If
No,
you meet a
no.
woman who happen to have a young look about herself, you'll see it. But hold on, Auntie, you ain't 29. Quit your lying.
There's your proof right there. There's your proof right there.
That's how you find
Um,
out.
from our What's Going On section and the question of the day, weight loss tips and gimmicks are in the news. Today, Novo Nordisk's top executive faced a Senate grilling over the high prices of the company's weight loss drug, Wegovy, and diabetes treatment, Ozempic. In his speech before the group that he chairs, the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent of Vermont, said, "All we are saying is treat the American people the same way that you treat people all over the world. Stop ripping us off," talking about the prices that they are charging. So I wanted to know, instead of taking or paying the ridiculous prices for a lot of these drugs, what are some of your favorite or foolproof weight loss tips? I don't know if you've ever had to, go through have a diet in your life, Damon, or Ned, for sports or something. But I'm just curious, and for the people out there, what are those tips that you would suggest to people if we need to go through? You ain't right.
Stop eating honey buns. My wife just came from Sam's Club with a big old case of honey bun. I ran right now. I ain't had the honey bun forever.
and
But
now
Did you heat it up? Did you heat it up?
I ain't have time. It was 5:57.
and it
No,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, boy.
but
Tell you.
but in all seriousness, I have a type of metabolism where actually I have the reverse circumstances where I try to not to lose weight because people are alarmed if you lose 5 or
Yeah.
10 pounds, and everybody thinks something's wrong with you. Lil Rel was just on Tamron Hall's show today, and he was here the past week,
This weekend, right?
all week with a comedy festival, and he's lost a drastic amount of weight, but he said he didn't do it with any type of Wegovy or Ozempic. But when you do it, but there's been speculation about is his health okay,
Right.
and that's what the topic was on the show because he's transformed. So I feel for people that be like, when you tell them I can't gain weight or I ain't ate all day, like, yeah, ate all day. How you forget to eat? It's a different struggle for smaller people. So I don't know. With my appetite and my sweet tooth, if I had to go on some type of regimen, I'd be terrible at it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Lord knew in his infinite wisdom where to put you. Well, Ned.
I'm so glad we had an excuse for me to go ahead and take a real bite.
Right. He been
For those of you listening and are watching, I have a big, juicy, fat, extra icing caked on honey bun right here. Mhm.
and he's just been picking at it and sneaking hits. He's like, I get a real bite right now. Let me go ahead and get a real bite right now.
Okay.
For me, I'm the exact opposite of Damon. My metabolism is non-existent. So, so no, but I've gone through the weight loss process, and like I said, I always tell people, if you want a quick, and I swear by it because it actually worked, Dr. Ian, pick up one of those tread books.
Yeah.
If you got, and it literally he has like 8 of them, and it's like for any situation you're in, you need to lose weight in 2 weeks. I got something for you. You need to lose weight over an extended amount of time, I got something for you. I lost, off his first shred book, I lost 80 pounds in 6 months.
Wow.
And I felt great. What happened was, the thing is, and
What had happened?
Huh?
What had happened?
So what happened was I got that night show.
Oh, okay.
My routine changed. The thing about losing weight is you got to have, honestly, a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And I, working in the mornings at the time, I was at clockwork. When I ate, how I ate, you know, it was very easy for me because of working in the mornings. The minute I switched and I moved to Texas and started doing a night show, oh, that thing went out the door, because I'm getting off at 12 o'clock midnight,
right?
Not going to sleep. There's like a McDonald's right by my apartment. Let me just go ahead and grab a couple McChickens and head to that house. Now, you know what I'm saying?
A brisket plate.
And fast food was cheaper then.
Okay.
I'm saying, and the weight, you know, weight would just come back on. But the thing is, the main thing is, and I actually talked to Dr. Ian recently. He came on the Morning Hustle talking about Ozempic, and he's like, for people that are not diabetic, all Ozempic is a suppressant. It's a hunger suppressant. All it's doing is making you feel full and kicking your guts, you know what I'm saying, to death. Right. And he's like, just think, if you actually just had self-control, you wouldn't have to. Wouldn't have to. You get the same result. Because he goes, if you look at the calorie intake from the people that take Ozempic to what they were doing now with Ozempic and before, they probably cut their calorie intake by half. Yep. And that's how they're losing the weight. It's not burning fat. It's like all it's doing is making you less hungry. That's it. So if you just take self-control instead of the drug, you'll get the same result, which is true because his books are about calorie control, but he does it without having you count calories. He does all the calculations for you and just tells you what to eat. Gives you options and says, eat this, and you will lose weight if you stay on task. That's all it is, honestly. And because I didn't work out one day over 6 months. I didn't go to the gym once. That it just fell off me just because of what I was eating.
And then it followed you to Texas.
Oh, Texas kicked my ass. Texas kicked my ass. It came right back. It was like BB Winan saw him recently. He said he runs 8 miles every morning because he's running away from Fat BB. He's like, I am running away from Fat BB because Fat BB's been chasing me for 30 years. Fat BB ain't catching me. And so I stopped and let Fat Med come get me again. Fat Med said, "Hey, I'm back." I'm like, oh, come on, man. Let's go get a McChicken.
So our question of the day is your weight loss tips or tricks. Med swears by Dr. Ian Smith. Damon doesn't have that issue.
Nope.
Deborah Clark Fairfax on Facebook. Drink water, walk, and leave the cookies, cake, fried chicken, and chips alone. Well, there goes your life right there. Jacqueline on YouTube, eat less and exercise. Do I do this? Don't judge me.
Don't judge me. That's right, Jacqueline.
No
judgment here.
No judgment. Stephen Arisman Thomas on Facebook says Ozempic will get turned into a weight loss drug eventually. Yeah, if they bring the price down, for sure. But there's no sign of that. Dorla Tiggs says portion control carbs, and walk for an hour every day. And then you'll walk away from your refrigerator by the time your first week as you walk and you get away from your refrigerator. Yeah, you'll get
them
away
carbs
from
or something else.
Carbs are the devil's work. Gwen Webb on Facebook, workout, lifting weights and cardio, and eat right. But the key is weights. I've heard that too. My grandmother used to say you have to eat to lose. And it's not so much that you just cut out everything or that you just stop eating or whatever it is, because your body goes into alarm mode and then it, will store the fat in order. And my grandmother's explaining to me to a 16-year-old, and I didn't understand, but you come to understand after a while that you can't just do without anything.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, and they say it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So if you can get through those 3 weeks, you might be able to have a lifestyle change. And once you get the lifestyle change, when you try to revert back, because I have changed what I eat, in a lot of ways. Like I ain't had a honey bun forever. It tastes different. Like you can taste the, the artificial
so
flavors
true.
and the chemicals.
That is so true.
I feel that way after having not had McDonald's French fries in a very long time, and then come back and like, what they do to these? What?
Yeah, they
actually changed it.
Yeah. It wasn't just my. It was.
They changed it.
Yeah, for sure.
But you do have a hypersensitivity to the change, and it'll turn you off on it. Like if you stop eating meat for a while, then you watch one of those documentaries on how they prepare meat and what they do to the animals. You may become a vegetarian
very quickly.
Yolanda,
we have Lynn Sell on YouTube says a 17-day diet is amazing. High protein, couple of servings of fruit, unlimited vegetables. I lost 10 pounds in 7 days. A friend's clothes were literally falling off of her. Good for her. I hope she
also cleanses are a great way to kickstart any kind of dietary change, I believe, as well. That was a kind of a key to my first transformation, if you will, was the cleanse. And it is not easy at all. Like I remember feeling like I was like a drug fiend. I was like, man, I really need some, I need a fry. Can I get a fry? It was like the third week of it. Like I couldn't eat any carbs and I was shaking. But once I got past that third week, I was like Damon said, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm good. But that third week,
man, just getting there.
That third week.
Hey, I was like that for that 24-hour period when I had to do the colonoscopy, I should say, because you can't eat overnight. Right. And you never realize how many delicious snacks and treats you have in your house until you can't have nothing. You're like, oh God, look, it was like they were calling me from every direction. I'm like, come on, man. Like you say, just one chip, baby. How could it hurt? Oh God. I mean, you couldn't even have healthy choice. I couldn't eat nothing but broth.
Right. Just liquid. Yep.
And that was just one day. So I can imagine what people go through when you have those cravings. But fight through it.
Gwen Webb says, Med on Facebook. Gwen Webb says,
y'all go at it.
You're a man. You guys can lose weight overnight, but us women have to fight it off for months. That's true. Men do much quicker than women. Olivia DeBland on Facebook. I lost my weight on Weight Watchers. I added running, and it works for me. Are you still eating as a Weight Watcher? Intermittent fasting. That's the first one. I was waiting for people. Jasmine JR's on Facebook says intermittent fasting. I know a lot of people have said that has worked for them too. I don't know if it would work for me, but I'm willing to try it. I'm not willing to go the Ozempic route, and especially with the cost of it. Let me tell you more about what this man who's the CEO of the company that makes Ozempic and Wegovy. He said he did not explicitly promise lawmakers that he would slash prices for the two drugs, but he did say he wants to work with them on policy solutions that will address the structural issues that drive up prescription drug costs. You drive them up, sir. He also committed to sitting down with pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, middlemen who negotiate drug rebates with manufacturers on behalf of the insurers, to collaborate on anything that helps patients get access and affordability. That came after. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And because
the bureaucracy around the pharmaceutical industry is the same as the hiked up prices in the military.
Right.
Of how a Khameron at Home Depot costs $4, but they charge the government, $400 for the same thing. So that's what I guess that's what he's saying. If y'all fix y'all mess, I'll fix our help. But right now, the getting is good.
And Bernie Sanders, God bless him, said, no, it's up to you to reduce your prices. He noted that Novo Nordisk has raked in nearly $50 billion in sales from Wegovy and Ozempic, and most of that revenue coming from the United States. He contends that Novo Nordisk charges Americans substantially higher prices for its blockbuster drugs than it does for patients in other countries. Before insurance, Ozempic costs nearly $969 per month. Wegovy is almost $1,350 per month in the United States. That's highway robbery right there.
And here's the thing: a lot of these insurance companies are dropping them.
Yeah.
If you're using them for weight loss, if they're watching, because they're watching how you scale up, because there's two different ways. I'm diabetic, so I use Ozempic for my diabetes.
Sure.
But if you use it for weight loss,
Mhm.
I found out there's a different way of doing it. So it's like it's an increase. Like every month, it's a spike of how much you're taking. And when they see that, they'll take you right up out of there.
Oh,
Insurance
wow.
wise,
Wow.
they'll
And
stop it.
$1,300 a month will make me eat a salad.
Come on, man. Come on. It's like,
Well,
it really is.
a lot of celebrities, like you talked about Lil Rel, a lot of celebrities are getting, they call it Ozempic face, sometimes with the weight loss and things like that. And those that are doing it the old fashioned way are still, getting the side eye.
But that's the thing.
Lizzo
But that's
is
the
the
thing.
latest.
That's the thing, Sybil. You, Ozempic ain't doing nothing. All they can do is not eat as much. So I'm
Right.
like, everyone's talking about Ozempic. I'm like, all it's doing is making you eat less. That's it.
And that's apparently
And
what they
so if
mean.
you
Yes.
eat less, that's what's gonna happen to your face. When you're gonna have the sunken face if you don't eat as many carbs and less calories. It's gonna happen. It's what's gonna happen. So it's nothing that the
And
drug is actually doing to you.
Wow.
that's one of the main reasons why I don't like to lose weight, because it shows my face right away. And
Mhm.
imagine if I went on Ozempic, I look like this.
Man, please.
About what?
I'm telling you. My
Oh
wife
my
showed me a
God.
picture of us early in our relationship, and I'm like, what was wrong with my head? She's like, that's how you look. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I look crazy.
Well, thanks for sharing with us your weight loss tips and tricks, and we will address that again. Let's move to trending topics. Damon, let's talk about, you were talking about your friends being in town. I know that was Lil Rel and Sherry Shepherd, right? We're in town
Yeah,
last
Sherry
week.
came in town. She closed out the festival and headlined on Saturday. And then Sunday, Lil Rel shot his next 1 hour special. But all week long, there were comedians who submitted from around the country.
Oh,
Over
nice.
60 some odd comedians performed, both Chicago and nationally. And it was a great camaraderie. And the reason why Rel and his partner, Knowledge Beckham, did it was because of he kept referring to the fact that at the top of the year, Club Shay Shay and Cat Williams caused so much dissension in black
Yeah.
comedy. And people were beefing and stuff. We wanted to lead the way and show the Chicago comics how we have been united throughout the decades, honestly. But it's also now the plan going forward is to give the industry heads and the talent buyers a one-stop spot to spot emerging talent, as well as to rediscover relevant veterans. So, Jamie Foxx had something called Palooza, and that's where people like D. Ray Davis and others got discovered.
Is that
And
still in Montreal?
no, that was Montreal is a whole different thing. That's the
Oh,
Just for Laugh.
oh, great.
But
Okay.
for Urban, Jamie did it, and not only was it a festival, it
Yeah.
became a series of specials that we were
Mhm.
all aired on Comedy Central and beyond. Showtime picked it up one year, and so we all out here, trudging away and trying to get our way through the industry. But if we have a place where we can come and showcase our talent, and those who have the gatekeepers can come and spot talent, then it's a shortcut to get to the next level. And that's what he was trying to provide. Not to mention coming home and providing, entertainment for the city. So
Right.
shouts out to Lil Rel and Knowledge Beckham.
That's neat. That's good for them. Good on them. Where are you going next?
I'm going to Bowie, Maryland. As a matter of fact, I'll be with Joe Claire. I think it's called Banging in Bowie at the Bowie Performing Arts Center, and that's this Saturday. This Friday, I'll be out in Wheeling, Illinois, and Sunday, I'll be at Uncle Rail's thing. I just had a meeting with the Ameristar Casino, so I'm going to restart my series starting October for the monthly. That'll be my local base. And I'm no longer really doing riddles on a regular basis. I'll only be doing spot dates on riddles because it just became overwhelming to book and try to figure out, running that. And it was tapping into my creativity and it was wearing me down. And so I'll be there periodically, but it's no longer my base in Chicago. So I just wanted to let people know, please continue to support the club, but don't go there because you think you support me, because some of the practices were, not to my liking,
Okay.
without saying anymore.
Okay. All right. And we follow you on social media, so we will always get that
Yeah.
information too. So good for you.
Yeah, and if you ever went to anything I did, you're gonna be on that email list, so you'll get the
Right.
email.
Right.
Absolutely. Make sure you go see Damon when he. I always enjoy Damon when he's in town. So it's a dope.
Damon
always
is one of the best comedians around, and his physical comedy gets me every time.
every time.
It's like, oh my God.
And then when he goes off script, hold on.
Right.
Yeah,
That's gonna
especially
be a
if you
wild
pull me
ride.
off.
You can literally go see Damon in like 3 nights in a row, and
And
you're
you'll
getting
never
3
see
different
the same
shows.
show. Yep.
Yeah.
You'll get the shell. The shell will be the same, but somewhere in the middle, the show's gonna change.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Show's gonna change.
Yeah. For sure. Check this out. Have you come to find this in terms of the additional charges when you charge something on your Visa card? Department of Justice has sued Visa, the world's biggest payments network, for antitrust violations. Visa is accused of creating a debit network monopoly that affects prices of nearly everything, according to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. He said, "We allege that Visa has unlawfully amassed the power to extract fees that far exceed what it could charge in a competitive market." The
I mean, why
Attorney
wait?
General said merchants and banks pass along those costs to consumers either by raising prices or reducing quality of service. As a result, Visa's unlawful conduct affects not just the price of one thing, but the price of nearly everything. Visa
And
and
they
its
blame Joe Biden.
Right, right, right. They say that it has surged in the past 2 decades, reaching a combined market cap of roughly $1 trillion as consumers leaned on credit and debit cards for store purchases and e-commerce instead of paper money. They call them essentially toll collectors, shuffling payments between the merchants, banks, and the card holders. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out because you go to places and they say, well, and you ask for the price of something, they say, but I'm going to have to, you take out your card, I'm going to have to charge you extra 3%, 5%
Right.
because of the fees. And that's how they get you.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
How they get you.
It's like you think well, how can it be a monopoly when you have MasterCard, Discover, what I'm saying, all these other ones? But I'm like, no. It's like having Amazon and other things. It's like, no, Amazon is the king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Visa is the king. You know what I'm saying? I don't get American Express. You don't be seeing them around there like that. You don't see
That's right.
Discover like that. You might see MasterCard, but Visa is king, and we all know who the king of the credit cards are. So it look, when you let these things happen, it's like you're telling a company not to try and grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
okay, now you're growing too big. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything illegal to grow, so I'm just like, y'all need to stop me. The government waits until it's almost too late. Now, what do you want them to do? You know
And
what I'm saying?
it's like the housing market too long ago. It's too big to fail. Well, yeah, you can, and somebody's going to call you on this, and the government's finally stepping up and doing that.
Yeah, Visa is like Trojans, and MasterCard is sort of like lifestyle.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, you'll use it if you have to, but you would prefer.
You
And
prefer.
Discover is like lambskin. Not the best
my.
idea.
Yeah.
But you get that cash back with Discovery. And you get nothing back with the lambskin. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, child.
That's your parting gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre was on Capitol Hill today, appeared before the House Ways and Means Committee to testify about welfare accountability. So I don't know if he was playing the sympathy card, but he was in a big mess because of the way that they were handling welfare funds in the state of Mississippi. And so he was accused of encouraging Mississippi officials to misuse the funds from the federal temporary assistance for needy families program to build an athletic facility in his name and support research on a concussion drug. He testified he didn't know what that was, the temporary assistant fund was at the time, and that he believed the money came from nonprofit grants. His appearance stems from a much publicized story that we did a couple of times in the newsletter, uh, how the much publicized welfare scandal in Mississippi developed into a $77 million pot that was funneled away from a program for needy families into other ventures, including projects for which Favre advocated. He's not been charged with a crime, has denied any wrongdoing, although he did repay over $1 million in speaking fees that were deemed improper, and he is part of a lawsuit filed by the Mississippi Department of Human Services seeking to reclaim those additional funds, close to $730,000 in interest alone.
I'm telling you, Brett Favre went up there. Didn't he say that he had Parkinson's disease?
So
as well?
that's what I was saying was probably, in order to get elicit some sort of sympathy from the people. He did mention that he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Now, the text messages show that he was working closely with the Human Services executive and a nonprofit director in an effort to fundraise money for this volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. His daughter was a member of the Southern Mississippi volleyball team. Both of these people have been arrested for their role in misusing federal money distributed to each state as a block grant. And the volleyball facility construction used $5 million of federal funds.
I was ready for Brett Favre to be up there like Sammy Sosa during a steroid trial with a translator here. I don't speak no English.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A Cajun.
I don't know if he pulled out the Parkinson's diagnosis for sympathy or just to clarify that he wasn't saying no a lot.
God damn it,
Are you sure? Nope.
Nope, not gonna laugh.
I'm not shaking my head. No, I have Parkinson's.
Yeah,
do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
No.
So you're not going to cooperate?
That's not what I'm saying. Well, that's what the message was getting at. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out and whether and it's the poorest state in the nation, right? So this kind of money that you're using for a volleyball facility, and I got volleyball players, I know, and I know it's an expensive sport and all that, but come on, at $5 million when there are people who need a place to live and a place and somewhere to eat.
I'm trying to figure out how this is an expensive sport. Spandex can't cost that much money.
You don't know the outfits. There are outfits associated with volleyball.
Okay,
and the travel.
Well, the travel, you're right.
And you know how that goes.
Yeah. No, I do have a friend.
Marcus Spears. The security you need for creepy dads in the stands.
Right.
And sometimes coaches against these, they have to have fittings for the complete outfits for some of them, as opposed to when I was in school. Hey, Wilkes, you need that size, and that's the shorts and the shirt, and go on. And don't forget to wash them. It's like, no, these are complete.
When there's a tournament here, I've been around when the tournament. It is out of control. Like around the convention center when the tournaments are going on. Marcus Spears, Swagoo from ESPN, his daughter is the #1 high school of female volleyball player in the country, and she's going to Texas. And that's how I see him. He'd be in town for tournaments for her. So yeah, man, it is crazy. You're right.
Yeah, Lou Calhoun, God bless her, had a niece that played volleyball at Nebraska, and all that it took to get her there just through the high school years. It's a lot of money and a lot of time that she invested in that child. And Brianna's a great kid, but it's just still a lot. It was still a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. A Haitian organization calls out Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. The leader of a nonprofit representing the Haitian community filed criminal charges today against the former president and his running mate, the senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, over the chaos and threats experienced by Springfield, Ohio, since Trump first spread the false rumors about they're eating the dogs during the presidential.
More importantly, they're eating the cat.
Their attorney said the Haitian Bridge Alliance invoked its private citizen right to file the charges in the wake of inaction by a local prosecutor. Trump and Vance are charged with disrupting public services, making false claims, telecommunications harassment, aggravated menacing, and complicity. They asked the Clark County Municipal Court to affirm that there is a probable cause and issue arrest warrants against the former president and the current United States senator. Their persistence and relentlessness, even in the face of the governor and the mayor saying that this is false, that shows intent. It's knowing, willful flouting of criminal law.
The amount of crazy comments I saw from people towards Haitians was wild. I was like, wow. Like, it's
And
like
just to mention, just
that
imagine.
mob mentality is like that.
In a microcosm
Immediate.
like Springfield, Ohio, just imagine what that's like. These people can't go out of their homes. These kids can't go to school. From
Crazy.
kindergarten to college. I mean, the bomb threats alone, 30 plus bomb threats.
I'm just like, how sick can you be to be real? I'm like, y'all weird. I mean, I know it's a joke, but y'all weird. Y'all really weird. That is crazy.
And you know, Dave Chappelle is a resident of Springfield. You would
That's
think
his
he could come
hometown,
out and make a stance or make a statement about this and probably, you know,
I've
calm
not
that
seen
because they
anything, Damon. Have you?
not a peep.
That's what you're saying. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But those crazy people there, they know Chappelle, and maybe at least in Springfield, he could kind of vouch for the Haitians. But it's nationwide. I'm sure the animal lovers, which we all are, that believe this mess,
exactly.
are up in arms all over the country.
Because the people in Springfield saying it's not us, they're like we're trying to get back with our neighbors and to remove all of this craziness. But it's 15,000 to 20,000 Haitian immigrants who arrived in Springfield over the last several years, in many cases after being recruited to local jobs, and they've been granted temporary protected status to be in the U.S. legally. They're not illegals. They're here. The government knows, and then that just sets off
and
Donald
that's
Trump.
The thing. They like, how do you mix us in with the Venezuelans? This idiot.
Send them back to Venezuela. Wait, they didn't start there. They're Haitians.
And J.D. Vance said these people are coming from Haiti.
Right.
Literally out of his mouth. I saw the clip.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
not that
it's
bright.
crazy.
But
it's just
Kamala is the one that's not that bright.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Before we close out, I just want to mention a couple of things. Look out for Tropical Storm Helene. She is forming over the Caribbean as residents across Florida preparing for a strike from what is expected to be a massive and powerful hurricane by tomorrow. And tonight, the Chicago White Sox are set to make history as the losing
yeah
in Major League Baseball history.
Go Cubs, go.
The White Sox.
I know.
121 losses.
Hey, I like records. Go ahead. Oh, and shout out to Florida with the hurricane. The Morning Hustle is starting a new affiliate, WEDR 99 Jams on Monday. If you are in Miami, 99 Jams, we're the new morning show in Miami. So
congratulations. So Helene and then the Morning Hustle blows in.
Okay? Exactly. We following right after.
Okay.
We're coming in now.
Okay. Let's move to education and entertainment, I should say. And this is
I was really figuring out.
It's very educational for me. I didn't know that you could do this, but you remember over the summer that Nick Cannon announced that he took out an insurance policy on his manhood. Did you all see that? He took out a $10 million policy.
Yes.
And now he says he thinks he didn't make it high enough. The policy, that is.
Mm-hmm.
He took it out for $10 million. He thinks he should have taken it out for $12 million, $1 million for each child that is currently among his growing posse of children.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else. I'd be like, okay, Nick.
That's not an alliteration that I would use. But he said it should have been 12 million. And people say, well, why would you need to take out an insurance policy on your private parts? And he said, well, you hear about supermodels insuring their legs, but that's their business. So are you saying creating children is your business?
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, the rumor is, you know, you hear the immune disease, and they're saying he's having children just in case he needs parts later on as he gets older. I'm sorry.
So, and he said, well, why shouldn't I insure my best assets? Okay. All
My
right.
children. Hey, I might need a rib now. I might need a rib.
And he says he's doing it in case his manhood no longer works at some point, but it's not his manhood that he's really worried about. Even though he's and who was the insurance agent that took that policy?
Wow.
Wow.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Emu. And Doug.
Maybe it's Flo from Geico. She's progressive.
That's progressive.
That's progressive.
Geico is the gecko.
The gecko.
Yeah.
Or the duck from,
was there ever a conversation amongst guys saying, hey, how about that Nick Cannon and his policy, his insurance policy?
No.
Not once that's just come up, Sybil. If you notice, we're really not even chiming in now. I ain't had too much to say about it. Even not, but maybe he should go with Allstate so he could be in good hands. You know.
Too big. Your hands are too big, ma'am. And that would be the discussion amongst his women. Well, for $10 million, you should be.
Look, Nick Cannon came on the show recently, and he said his pockets ain't light, so he all right.
Oh, he's more than all right. You're right.
He's like, I'm good.
And are his kids good? That's all I want to know.
Very good. He said they're all good, and they like to spend quality time individually, and he lives by all of them, actually. Interesting. I was like, you live by all? He's like, yeah, they all live right around me. I was like, well, la-di-da. Okay.
Sister wives and all that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's close out with our jewel. Be intentional about practicing empathy, making an effort to understand and connect with others' perspectives. Intentional about practicing empathy and making an effort to understand everybody else around you. Good job. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You made me laugh. I just, my day is complete. I love to do three things: to learn something, to have a good cup of coffee, and to have a laugh. And thanks to you, Damon, you made that happen in multiple numbers. Yeah, every day. Thank you. Appreciate it. Aloha.
Morning Hustle 6 to 10 Monday, Florida, 99 Jams.
After Helene.